Satanists say they're the hillbillies of the earth and they don't know how to act around royalty. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. Ellen has to be very poor and to have no funds to control for the state of Israel. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. Netanyahu objected to that. I guess she runs them. I guess Netanyahu, she's a great leader, and to me, she's just someone who craps on my house. Ellen Gale Engler Fine says she's proud to insult me more than anybody else. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. That she's proud to be the worst among evil ones. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. Ellen looked like my mother. That doesn't score any points with me. Satanists say they're such cowards they have to strap babies down before they torture them because they're afraid they'll hit back. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. Nancy Webb says that's absolutely not true. Netanyahu says it is true in Israel. Harry says he's from the state of Israel. Harry says he's from the state of Israel. Harry says he is from the state of Israel. Natalie Cross says, quote, "You can't scare her," unquote. Having to do with me being in my bedroom at Nob Hill. The one alongside the driveway when I was 21. Natalie Cross says, quote, "You can't scare her," unquote. Having to do with me being in my bedroom, the one with the 2 twin beds in it, at Nob Hill, when I was 21. Shit, fuck. Natalie Crow reaffirms for all Satanists that they have all the information that they've absorbed past, present, and future eternities, running through the forefront of their minds at all times, increasing in speed and intensity an infinite number of times, every zillionth of a second, for an infinite number of eternities. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, to the power of an infinite number of infinities. Natalie Cross says she's a ball with a tail like a comet, made of a dense, black, metallic substance. Over the state of Israel, in the northeastern section, headed toward the northeast, northeast. So whatever borders Israel on the east, in the upper part of Israel, she's going to be flying over it. Maybe not, that may not be her destination, but she's going to be flying over it. It looks like an iron, like a cannonball with a tail. Looks like toward Jordan. Or Syria. It's either northern Jordan or southern Syria, where Natalie Cross headed from Israel. As a cannonball with a tail. Looks like it's made out of iron. Shit. I guess it looks like Jordan, like Amman Jordan. Mm-hmm. Nellie Cross says she's like an iron cannonball with a tail, headed from northeastern Israel. It looks like to Amman Jordan. Nellie Cross says it looks like a black iron cannonball with a tail, and she's in northeastern Israel, headed toward, I don't know if Amman is the goal, but it's going to fly over Amman Jordan, whatever she is or whatever. Amman is the capital of Jordan. It is a mother city with numerous ancient ruins. Atop Jalalakaya Hill, the historic citadel includes the pillars of the Roman Temple of Hercules in the 8th century. I don't know how to pronounce it, palace. She could be there to destroy ancient ruins, including the Roman Temple of Hercules. The way they destroyed the relics in Iraq and did rituals for the power. Hmm. The Citadel not just being in Amman, Jordan, but Citadel, leading investors in the world's financial markets. www.citadel.com. CITADEL. In markets around the world, we work relentlessly to uncover and capture new opportunities. People ask, what is Citadel in history? A citadel is the core fortified area of a town or city. The term as a diminutive of city means little city. It's so called because it is a smaller part of the city, of which it is the defensive core. Ancient Sparta has a citadel, as did many other Greek cities and towns. What branch of the military is the Citadel? The Citadel is home to enlisted commissioning programs for the Navy and Marine Corps. Natalie Craw may have to do with the AKA marriages between Marines and God's children, women, God's children that are women. What is the Citadel known for? The Citadel is a landmark in Charleston and South Carolina that is noted for its educational reputation as well as its rich history. The Citadel is best known nationally for its Corps of Cadets, which draws students from around 45 states and a dozen countries. What is Citadel in simple words? A fortress that commands a city and is used in the control of the inhabitants and in defense during attack or siege, and strongly fortified. Any strongly fortified place stronghold. Well, the family lore in the Landsberg family is that they named Harry Earl Landsberg III Herky because he was a big baby, and they thought he looked like Hercules. So he may be in the Mount Jordan. In one of the ancient ruins, the Citadel, and the something of Hercules. What does citadel mean in the Bible? A stronghold or fortified place? Oh shit. Here's a question, which is better, VMI or the Citadel? VMI has a higher submitted SAT score than Citadel. VMI has higher submitted ACT score than Citadel. Citadel has more students with 3,763 students, while VMI has 1,685 students. Citadel has more full-time faculties with 210 faculties, while VMI has 14 full-time faculties. Chuck White, who raped me and then tried to dump me in a harsh way, but he didn't get a chance to, went to VMI, Virginia Military Institute. And in fact, we went out once when I was maybe 18 or 19. And I don't know where we went before this, but we went to his parents' condo in the Keys. Excuse me. And it was like his first, his first holiday season after starting at the VMI. Or maybe his second. Anyway, he almost raped me that night. You know, in a grab, violent rape. I could tell. I could tell he was thinking about it. But he didn't. And the way he raped me when I was about 24 years old, I think, was take me on a pleasant date, spend the night it's the first time we spent the night together, and then he went to 7-Eleven just down the driveway for something, and came back with whatever, plus a couple cans of dog food. He said he'd seen a puppy in the area around my apartment, and he decided to feed it. It was all for me to think he was sweet and this and that. And he asked me for a golf date that Friday. And I said, okay. And anyway, it turns out I was house sitting for Ellen, and I wasn't able to make the golf date for Friday. So by the time I realized that it was Thanksgiving, Thursday, and I called his mother's house, the White house. It's Chuck White. And his mother, Alice, who's always been a real bitch to me, answered, and she says, "Why are you calling up Thanksgiving? Don't you realize we're in the middle of Thanksgiving dinner?" And I said, "Well, I just want to pass along a message to Chuck that I can't make our golf date on Friday." And she bitched at me, and I repeated myself a couple times. And I guess she gave him the message. Apparently he was going to ditch me on the golf date, like either never show up or something. Something rude. And then I would probably be confused. But excuse me. The real rape, where there was real sex involved, was after a pleasant date at an Italian restaurant in South Miami. I believe it's the restaurant that was hidden away You couldn't see it from the road. It was a tree-studded property. It was quite nice. And then going back to my apartment and him raping me, and then buying puppy food the next day. Oh, isn't Chuck sweet? Isn't Chuck sweet? Chuck White says he has a close relationship with Richard Hannay Jr. Neither of them had any math in junior high or high school. They were dorks and geeks and stuff like that. Richard Hannay Jr. says, quote, "That's why we were stuck with you, Holy Spirit of God. Affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm, affirm, reaffirm to the power of an infinite number of infinities." What's the hardest military academy to get into? USNA. That would be the U.S. Naval Academy, I think. Is the most competitive of the service academies in terms of admissions. What are the 6 military colleges? Who knows this stuff? Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas. Oh, I'm sorry, the first one is Norwich University in Northfield, Vermont. I'm pretty sure that's Bernie's state, Bernie Sanders. Norwich University in Northfield, Vermont. The second is Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas. Then the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. Virginia Military Institute in Lexington, Virginia. Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. University of North Georgia in Dahlonegha. Forget the H. Dahlonegha, Georgia. No. Dahlonegha. Like in Roald Dahl, the children's book author. He was brought up last night. These are the 6 senior military colleges. In the United States, a senior military college is one of 6 colleges that offer military Reserve Officers Training Corps. That's ROTC. I was in ROTC for a semester at the University of Miami. In fact, I posted my transcripts online from the University of Miami, and it had been removed. I scanned it and uploaded it, and it had been removed. I couldn't find on the internet, I couldn't find my ROTC class. It had been removed. The Air Force didn't want proof that they had lured me into the ROTC. Under the U.S. Coast Guard Direct Commission Selective Schools, DCSS, graduates of the 6 senior military colleges, as well as Mary Baldwin College and Prairie View A&M University, are allowed to commission into the U.S. Coast Guard under the Direct Commission Selective School program. Dan LaLiberte, we were engaged, was and maybe still is in the Coast Guard. Fuck me. Mary Baldwin University, MBU, formerly Mary Baldwin College, is a private university in Stanton, Virginia. Prairie View A&M University is a member of the Texas A&M University System and Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Thurgood Marshall was a black Supreme Court justice. Probably the first black Supreme Court justice. The Thurgood Marshall College Fund is an American nonprofit organization that supports and represents nearly 300,000 students attending its 47 member schools that include public historically black colleges and universities, medical schools, and law schools. The organization is named after the Supreme Court's first African American justice, Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Founded in 1987, founder N. Joyce Payne, Payne. There's a Ruth Payne in the Kennedy assassination literature. She was Lee Harvey Oswald's landlady. That's spelled differently. Ruth Payne was Paine. This is Payne. They don't want me texting that to Paul. I'm getting an error message, can't send message while loading attachments, so... Excuse me. I texted it to myself. As far as I know, Ruth Paine was associated with the White Russians. Not that she was a White Russian, but she had affiliations or associations or relationships with White Russians. That's the name of a group, White Russians. Hmm. Come on. In references, it lists five. Quote, Apple commits more than $50 million to diversity efforts, unquote, in Fortune magazine. That's the article title. The second is Robin White Good, Goode. Robin White, shit. Chuck White's father's name was Robin White, and Good could be Timothy Good, author of UFO books. I don't remember if his last name is spelled Good or Good with an E. And the article is Charles Koch gives $25.6 million to Thurgood Marshall College Fund in Black Enterprise magazine. Third one is Boeing. Boeing invests $6 million in the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Press release, the Boeing Company. Fourth, Taylor, Johnny C. Jr. Quote, I'm passing the TMCF baton to DSU President Harry L. Williams. Unquote. New York Amsterdam News. And number 5 is, quote, Jordan W. Marshall, unquote. Great Black Speakers. Retrieved in October of 2017. They're trying to choke me. I guess that stuff is pretty important. What is an example of a citadel? The definition of a citadel is a place where people go for safety or to defend. A medieval castle is an example of a citadel. So, Herky and others may be in Amman, Jordan. And Natalie Craw may be out to destroy them. Did Citadel cadets start the Civil War? Citadel cadets fired the first shots at Fort Sumter to begin the American Civil War, and the college was an important source of officers for the Confederate Army. The school was occupied by Union forces from 1865 until 1879. That's after the Civil War. The arsenal was destroyed in 1865, and the Citadel reopened in 1882. Excuse me for a minute. Let's see. Military colleges, I guess. I'm gonna stop recording and upload this. I think I'm gonna name it Military Colleges. Or U.S. Military Colleges.